5-Minute Habits for Healthy Living. This week's habit is called Linkage, the key to changing habits. Hello, this is Dr. Brian Morris, and welcome to 5-Minute Habits for Healthy Living, where you will learn the tools to practice a healthy lifestyle 5 minutes at a time. I've been practicing internal medicine for 20 years. I went to medical school at Johns Hopkins, I trained at Yale, and I previously held a teaching position at Harvard Medical School. I currently practice medicine and hold a teaching appointment at UCLA Medical School here in Los Angeles, where I teach these habits to medical students, house staff, doctors, and of course, to my patients. Before we get to this week's habit, I'd like to remind you that the information contained in this podcast and at 5minutemd.com is intended solely for educational purposes and should not be used to diagnose, treat, or prevent any health condition or illness. This information may not apply to a specific health situation and is not a substitute for medical care by a qualified, licensed, board-certified healthcare professional. Please consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your healthcare regimen. Last week I was meeting with a patient and we were discussing exercise, and he told me that he has never truly enjoyed exercise. He was very honest and straightforward, and he said that even as a child he never found joy, never found true fulfillment in any form of exercise. I was sad to hear that. In my life and in my children's lives, I've experienced and seen such fun, such fulfillment, such joy in exercise. Whether it's an individual activity like running or walking, or a team sport like baseball, soccer, or basketball. Activity and exercise can be so much fun. But this patient went on to tell me at great length that for him, activity has never been fun. Exercise has never been fun. In situations like this, I tend to talk to patients about strategies to make exercise fun. Even if exercise has never been fun, there are still ways to make this work. And this has to do with a concept that I call linkage. I first learned about this in my early 30s when I decided that I wanted to run a marathon. It seemed like an amazing experience. I had seen the Boston Marathon and the New York City Marathon up close, and I really wanted to give it a try. Unfortunately, running long distances was simply not something that I enjoyed, so I set out to try to make it fun, to make it something that I would enjoy. The thought of running 5 or 10 or certainly 26 miles was not appealing to me in the least. But yet, I wanted to run that marathon. I wanted to cross the finish line. I wanted to have that experience that I had seen up close for so many years. When you want something with passion, ideas start to percolate and resonate, and before long, I had some strategies to make this happen. The best idea that I found was to link the enjoyment of my favorite hobbies to this new experience that I was trying to pick up. In this case, running a marathon. So for me, the hobby that I wanted to link was music. I love music, all kinds of music, from old-fashioned rock and roll, to folk, to country, to pop, to even classical music. I can listen to music for hours, so I decided to link my passion for music with running. So what I did, I would gather all of my favorite songs and albums and listen to them while I ran on a treadmill. Not to date myself, but at the time my favorite bands were U2 and Genesis. So I listened to just about every album by those bands as I ran on the treadmill. I was living in Boston at the time, so I also discovered some amazing radio stations like WUMB and WERS, and I listened to those stations as I ran on that treadmill. I got so excited about listening to music that I created mixtapes of my favorite songs. I guess nowadays they're called playlists, but I would listen to those tapes over and over again. During those years, I discovered some of my favorite musicians, such as Patty Griffin, Mary Fall, Ellis Paul, Dar Williams, the Jayhawks, and many others. All of a sudden, I began to find that the two activities of music and running became linked. And over time, I started to enjoy the running itself, and I started looking forward to my runs on the treadmill. Music became my soundtrack, which kept me truly motivated and engaged in the running. It kept me excited about running. This is Linkage. If there is an activity that you want to enjoy, that you know you would benefit from, that you know your health would benefit from, but you just don't enjoy it very much, consider Linkage. How can you link activities that you already enjoy with this new healthy activity? For me, the sounds of my favorite bands and musicians and radio stations kept me excited about running. Suddenly, I found myself waking up every morning excited to get on that treadmill and hear my favorite music. I was excited to hear that new album that had just been released, or hear that great new song that WUMB was playing. Before long, I was on my way to running a marathon, which I eventually did when I ran the Vermont Marathon in beautiful Burlington, Vermont. Linkage helped me. Can Linkage help you? Can you find ways to link your favorite activities to healthy activities that you'd like to enjoy? For me, it's music. For some, it's their favorite TV show or audiobooks. What is it for you? Think about how Linkage might work for you. Think about ways that you can link activities that you already enjoy with healthy activities that you'd like to practice consistently. Linkage can be a very powerful tool for habit change. Think about ways that it might work for you. Let's keep the dialogue going. Let me know what you think of this week's Habit for Healthy Living. Post your comments and your experiences on the 5 Minute MD Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at Brian Morris MD and visit us anytime at 5minutemd.com. Let your friends know about the podcast and make sure that you are subscribed on iTunes. When you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, you will receive new podcast episodes as soon as they are posted. If you're finding the information on this podcast helpful, you may want to check out these episodes as well. And lastly, if you have a few minutes, stop on by iTunes and leave our podcast a review. Thank you so much for listening, and remember to make today count. I will see you at the next 5.